This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 103, and we're tackling a brand new franchise, Kate Beckinsale, Underworld from 2003. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, how long has it been since you've seen Underworld?
Oh, boy. It's been a minute, maybe 7 years. I'll go with 7. It's been a while. I've seen the movie multiple times, but it's been a little while since I've watched it.
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I think this is like 2 or 3 years ago. No, I do watch them. I enjoyed this movie, but yeah, it's been a while. Not more than you, 7 years, but it's been.
I saw this at the theater when it came out when I was 16. I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a thing. Loved it at 16. Loved it. I was like, this movie's the best. This is the best movie I ever saw. And then we'll see how I feel now. You know, a couple years later, 18 years later, I'm an adult. I've seen more movies now. So we'll talk about it. But yeah, I've seen the movie multiple times.
Yeah, all right. For those of you out there that's watching us on YouTube and listening to us on the podcast, you guys know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing some box office numbers, Rotten Tomato scores, right into our movie review breakdown of Underworld from 2003. So let's start it off with the box office numbers from Underworld from 2003. Domestic, $51 million. International, $43 million on a worldwide total of $95 million. Okay, on a budget of $22 million. And guess what, Nate? Opening night, because of course you were there supporting, $21 million. So to me, that was pretty good weekend.
I contributed to the $21 million. Yeah, this was a surprise hit for the studio. I remember because they made 5 of them. But the budget's low. If you look at the movie and then you hear, oh, it only had a $22 million budget. Now, we're in the 2000s. So this is already the time of like these big $100 million budget movies. Yeah. So it was relatively low and this was Sony Screen Gems who made this. This is their thing. Resident Evil, Underworld, both Screen Gems. Lower budgets, nice return. So not surprising. I numbers sound about right.
Yeah. All right. So look, the box office numbers showing a positive take on this Underworld franchise. To kick it off, let's see what the audience and the critics have to say about this movie.
All right. So we're going to continue with some positive takes. I don't know. Yes and no. This has a pretty high audience score. The audience score for Underworld is 79%. So fans like it. It has fans. People enjoy it. I think I read somewhere it had a B+ cinema score. That's like that rating that they do when they walk out of the theater. It's a F to A+, B+, so pretty good. But critics, not crazy about this movie. 31% Rotten Tomatoes critic score. So this is one of those times where like the audience and the critics feel very differently about the film, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it is interesting. It's kind of weird, right? Because the audience,
there's a huge gap.
It's a way huge gap from the audience and the critics. So, all right. So let's throw all those numbers out and let's see what we have to say about Underworld from 2003. So we're going to start it off with Kate Beckinsale as Celine as lead character. Neat.
So this is going to be a hard review to do. I'm going to be upfront with you guys right now. I have so many issues with this movie, but I don't hate this movie. So take that as, as it is. It's very hard because I think for everything that does right, it does a lot of things wrong. So with that said, lead character, I don't think she's that interesting. To be 100% honest with you, do I like Kate Beckinsale as an actress? Not really. I don't think Kate Beckinsale is a great actress. I think she's gorgeous. So there's a big difference between being able to watch someone because they are, very lovely to the eye. She has like a very nice voice, very, very, very attractive actress. But do I think she's a great actress? Not really. But do I think the character's interesting? Not really. In this movie, I don't think she's that interesting. Now, maybe down the line, things change. But in Underworld, she just they drop you right in. The movie doesn't set her up. She's just sitting on a rooftop and you're just in the action, right? So I don't think Celine is a great character in Underworld. I think she's okay. I could follow her on her. I like her in the action scenes, Kate Beckinsale. I do like her in the action scenes. I like her look. I think, all that's good. But I don't think it's a terribly interesting character. They try to give her a little bit, late, like in the third act, as far as some backstory. But to me, that's like, it's too little too late. You took too long. Not a horrible character, but not great. I gave her a 3. And then if you look at like Michael, who's like the main human character. He's the only human in the whole movie, right? Boring, very boring. I don't like him. I never liked him. So I kind of like, I don't combine them, but if I did, it'd still be a 3. But pretty bland, to be honest.
You know, it's weird. It's for me, I enjoyed Kate Beckinsale. Her character, I do agree with you. We don't get much backstory of how she turned into a vampire, nothing like that. But you do get it a little bit when Victor, when the guy Craven blows up Victor's spot and says that he killed your family and took.
That's what I mean, but
it
it's all the way in the 3rd act.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but you don't get to see flashbacks of that, like how she got bit or anything like that. So, I mean, you do. I think in the later movies, I believe they do show some flashbacks, right?
2 coming up.
Yeah, coming up. So they do show that. But I absolutely agree with you. But the thing is about her character, I kind of liked it because she was badass though. She was very like against everybody. Like she wasn't higher up in the vampire gang or whatever the hell you want to call them, like the Covenant. I guess that's what's called.
The Covenant. Coven.
Yeah, the Coven. She wasn't up there, but she was like breaking authority because she believed in her gut, like X, Y, and Z. And I was like, you know what? That's ballsy. 1, 2. She woke up Victor, which I mean, she broke the code for many of years, and no one did it. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I like that. I thought her mean, like in a package. I like that. Is she great to look at? Absolutely. I love her voice. There's something about her English accent or whatever the hell she is. I loved it. I thought it was cool. Of course, the action, we'll talk about that. Yeah. I do agree with you. I gave her a 3. I don't think we got enough information about the character for me to not care, because you do care for the character because you're watching the movie for her, right? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to find that thing, but you know what I mean?
You know, we're on the same page. And the other thing is, like, there's a lot of decisions that don't make sense. Like, she falls in love with this Michael character after knowing him for about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. It's a movie and that happens a lot, but I never bought into it. It's like, why do you care so much? Because you think he's like good looking or something? Like, what is it? Because he's very bland too. They're both kind of bland. So it makes it hard to buy into their whole little like romance because there's no passion. They're very monotone. They're not written that great in my opinion.
I do agree with you. And that's what I mean. She fell in love like in 2 seconds. But I mean, it is what it is. We gave it 3 across the board. Main villain. We were stumped on this, but we're gonna go with Victor on this one because he is the main villain. Victor.
We'll go with Victor, but I'm going to talk about each little sub villain a bit. This movie has the classic villain problem. There's too many villains. Everyone's a villain in this movie except Celine and Michael. If you really think about it, the vampires, they're not good people. They're monsters too, right? The werewolves, they're portrayed as monsters. Now, in the context of the film, we are with the vampires, and therefore it is positioned as the werewolves are the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
That's the way the story is told because you're with Celine. Now, Craven, turns out he's like in on it with he has a deal with Lucien. Now, Lucien is my favorite character in this whole entire movie. I love him. Michael Sheen is tremendous in this movie. I love his performance. I love his design. I think he looks cool as hell. He has a sword that just comes out of his jacket sleeve. He's great. And his performance is great. Craven, horrible. I absolutely hate him. He's another one. Like, he's very boring and he's like, that actor sucks. I think the actor's bad. I think a better actor could have done more with that.
Yeah.
And then Victor's played by Bill Nye, who we're not going to talk bad about him because he's one of the best actors and he's great in this movie. Now, he's not in it a ton because he shows up a little bit later. He has some cool makeup effects when he's all old, and he's like kind of gooey, and then he turns normal. But I love his performance. Everything he does, like when she's talking to him and he's just like, he makes these sounds and just like, it's like, oh man, is there any worse way to be told shut up than just someone making a noise like that? No. Yeah. So I do like him. This is a weird series because I know what happens next because I've seen them all. And I feel like a lot of things are better told down the line. As such, I'm still going to give him a 4. I like Victor a lot. I like the kind of reveal of what he did and how he still kind of like tries to justify it. Right. You know what I mean? But the performance is great. And if we were scoring Lucien, I would have been also maybe a 4.5. I love Lucien, but I don't really look at him as a bad guy personally. So 4 for me.
I do agree with you in terms of Lucien, because when we were we were texting while I was watching the movie and I was like, wait a minute, he did not have no bad intent. And it's weird, right? Because like the movie portrays Lucien as a bad guy, but really when you look at his motives, It's not that. It's just that my man Victor killed his daughter, which was his love.
And she was pregnant with his child.
Yeah. And he was like, an abomination to the covenant. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But technically, they made you think he was bad, but he was not bad. And I think that was pretty clever writing, if you really think about it, because Celine, because we're in her shoes, so we kind of see why she turned against Victor towards the end. But again, she doesn't know much of Lucien anyway. Now, Craven sucked. I would have gave him a 1.
Yeah, me too.
He was god awful. I was just like, dude, you're a leader that she just slapped up like nothing. Like, he wasn't ruthless for me. Like, if he was ruthless,
he was a coward.
Yeah,
that's why he did everything in the shadows. Lucien was bold. Victor's bold. They don't care. They just go. Look, Victor fights the werewolf bare hands. He doesn't even care. Craven's always kind of sneaky, making sneaky side deals. I agree. 1.
Yeah, he's a weasel. Victor. Let me get to my man Victor, bro. If I'm old, that's what I want to be. I want to be Victor. I want to be like that. Not gooey, but I want to be like that. Like
minus the goo.
Minus the goo, right? Like if they gotta put like pipes in, like tubes in me, put it in the back. Make me look nasty and crazy.
Yeah.
Cause my man was good. Like when he came out, I was like, oh my God. Like even in him and like even skinny version of him, he was just standing there. He was just like talking. And I was like, yo, this dude is what a villain is, right? Yep. Because of his demeanor, the way he said his lines, you knew people wasn't messing with my man Victor. Even when he had all those lines, like all the blood, like regenerating my man back to health, no one didn't go, you know what, Victor, I'm going to cut your lines. Why? Because they knew Big Papa Vic was going to come back and do some whooping. I loved it. I think his portrayal, because he played Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tells No Tale, or whatever. No, Dead Man's Chest.
Dead Man's Chest.
Yeah,
and the second one too, I think.
That's that one, Dead Man's Chest, right?
And the End of the World, or World's End, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. He's there too as Davy Jones, and he's such a great actor. Like that puts 100% in what he does, and as Victor, I absolutely loved it. I wish they never killed him at the end. I wish he just escaped and he was the villain, but it is what it is. I gave him a 4 also. I think he was amazing as the head leader of the vampires. All right, here we go.
Lucien and him are the 2 best performances in this movie. Like the acting is the best. You could feel it when they come on screen as opposed to when you're stuck with Celine and Michael. You know, soon as Victor shows up and starts talking with her, and you could see it in his face, like he's showing compassion and everything. Great. And then Lucien, same. Like just that dude was a beast. I love them both.
No, I totally agree. All right, action scene.
Okay, so I'll be honest. I don't love the action in this movie. Okay. Now, I thought there was more. There's a lot of talking in this movie, and it's a lot of mythology that they're setting up with the vampires and the werewolves, and it's fine. But there's a lot of it. And then when the action happens, I'm pretty sure we've discussed this. I know we did it with like some of the Bond movies, and one of my least favorite styles of action is just shooting. I'm not a big fan of just shooting. And there's just a lot of gunplay. You know what I mean? Now, sure, you get some slow motion jumps and some slow motion flips and whatever. That's cool. It's shot well. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's poorly executed. I just don't get into two people standing far apart shooting at each other. It's just not my favorite. I do like hand to hand more. You get a little bit like with the guy with the whips. Like that was set up to be pretty cool. He had those like metal whips, but then he doesn't even do anything. The wolf just walks up to him and eats his face. Like, what the heck? What are you good for? Why do you have these? Someone else should have had those weapons. Like Lucien has his cool arm sword. That was dope. There are some cool, memorable shots. The one where she shoots the floor in a circle and then like falls through it. Yeah. That's like a really memorable shot from this movie. Yeah. The whole, I do like the opening in the subway. Where it just jumps right into like a shootout. It would have been cool if that was a shootout and then they mix it up. Like there's no car chases in this. There's no real hand-to-hand fighting in this. It's just a lot of shooting. And then at the end, she has a sword. You know what I mean? So it's not bad. It's well executed, especially for a $22 million budget, but it's just not amazing. It's not my personal favorite style. So I give it a 3.5. Okay. It's a 3.5 for me. It's solid, but I wish there was more diversity.
I agree with you. I enjoyed it. I guess I enjoyed it more. I do agree with you, but I do understand why they chose not to put more hand to hand, because honestly, if they're going to be going up against werewolves and the transformation into the fighting, it would be kind of hard to do with a $22 million budget, them turning into a wolf at the same time. But other than that, I mean, that's that. But I absolutely liked the hallway scene when she's running after Michael. He takes the elevator and you see them crawling on the wall. And she's like, I mean, this gun had like 100,000 bullets. And I was like, this is a 16 bullet gun, but as it is what it is, she's like,
6 million.
Yeah,
gun.
6 million. There's like unlimited ammo. And she's shooting them. And I was like, that's cool. One of the favorite scenes is in the beginning when the wolf is chasing her and she throws the 4 knives that open up and it gets stuck on the dude. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome.
The dude with the crazy voice? The black guy?
He's, I'm sorry, Lucius.
I can't even do that, but it's not real. I don't know how he does that.
Yeah, we had to let him go. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Again, going through the floor is iconic. The only nitpick I have for the action is the ending. Victor versus Michael. Okay. Mm-hmm. You saw a little bit of Michael's speed of the vampires mixed in, and I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Then all of a sudden, the wire work kicked in. And I said, ooh, this is no bueno. It's like the Matrix, right? When you see Matrix 1 and they in a train station and you see Neo and he goes, call me, whatever. And then he calls it, call me Neo. And then he slams him on top and then he does the backflip. And you see him holding the wire and he's doing the backflip. And they deleted the wire, but he's still holding on to something, which I was like, that's dumb. You see it here when Victor picks him up and throws him.
Chucks him?
Yeah, and then you see the wire work, and he slams on the thing, and I said, ooh, no bueno. And when Celine grabs the sword and she slices him, you see that someone went, yippity!
I kind of like that, though. I think it has a certain charm, because it's not CGI. You know what I mean? Like, at least it's a real person flying through the air. I guess. But I know what you're saying. It's obvious, but charming to me.
Yeah, if they would have shot it in a different way, I would have said, you know what, that is pretty cool. Or give it like a vampire effect or something. I would have said, you know what, that's cool. Instead of someone going, ready, action. Yeah, but other than that, look, I gave the action a 4. I actually enjoyed the action in this movie. All right, I already know where we might go with this part. Storyline.
No. So you know what? I have a lot of issues with the story.
Okay.
I do. But when I boiling it down to its main concept, I think it's pretty awesome. I like the idea of a 1,000-year war between werewolves and vampires. I think that's a cool premise. So I think the premise is a 5 out of 5, to be honest with you. Just like, why didn't someone think of this before? Just like a big monster battle that these two clans have been doing. But then you get to the actual execution of a lot of stuff. And that's where it's not a 5 for me, obviously. There's a lot of mythology, but they almost overdo it with mythology. It's almost too much. It's like, okay, guys, like, let's dial it back a few things. Let's dial back a few. Like the movies, we watched the extended cut, which it doesn't really add anything, but the regular version's 2 hours long. It doesn't need to be 2 hours long. But like, there's so many villains. Like I said, it's it's a little bit messy with who you're supposed to be rooting for and who you're not supposed to be rooting for. I think okay, anyway, my score is a 4. I gave the story a 4 because I think it's strong, but I just think there's a lot of issues with the script. A lot of the characters are not that interesting to me. Lucien and Victor are the most interesting characters to me in this film. It's like, I don't like this Michael guy. I don't really care for Celine that much, besides her being hot, And you don't get to know any of the other, like, werewolves I wish I had, like, teams, kind of. Like, the black vampire, the one who's, like, in charge of, he's like a weapons guy, but also he seems like he's like a high-ranking. He was pretty cool. Like, give me more of that guy. I liked him. But no, we get Craven instead. And Craven's the worst. And then the stupid blonde girl, like, who just like in love with him. But I don't know. There's a lot. There's too much. There's too much stuff going on. But I think it's solid. So I give it a 4.
Look, I agree with you. In terms of the storyline, for me, it was a hit or miss for me. I gave it a 4 also as you. There was a lot of things about it that I loved. And again, this is a movie genre that I absolutely love. Action, vampires, werewolves, sci-fi horror mixed into one. I'm like, that's it. That you got me hooked. And it did. It got me hooked. There's certain things of the movie I enjoy. Some things I was like, this is not, to me, wasn't cool. I love the whole sequence of them bringing Victor back with the blood in the thing. And she did all that thing. I was like, that is awesome. I love the whole them trying to get the old people. What is it? The elders, and then the wolves kill them. I was like, that is cool. But then you got the other side of it. You got Craven and his stupid plot. And I was like, oh, that is so horrible. Right. Then you had, Lucien is cool, but they didn't used him as much. I didn't get to see a Lucian versus a Victor, which I was like, oh my God. But then you got the ultraviolet bullets and the silver nitrate bullets. Also and I was like, that is awesome. But they never got to use it much. But
they don't show how they work, really. You know what I mean?
I mean, you do, right? Because Lucian died from it. That's when Craven, that little.
I wish they would have tested it on some of like the lackeys, you know?
Yeah.
Just get murder a bunch of them with it. It would have been cool.
Awesome, right? We didn't get much of it. But it's a flip of a coin. To me, it was like a 60-40 for me. I enjoyed it a lot more, 40%. It was like, I guess it gets better without the sequels. We'll find out. But I gave it a 4 overall, my friend.
Overall. So here's where I could throw in all my other little kind of gripes. One, this was a great point that one of our patrons and my good old buddy Jay brought up in our group chat. I hate the nondescriptness of the setting of this movie. It has bothered me since the first time I watched it all the way to now. They're in Romania. They never tell you you're in Romania. They never say where you. It's in Romania, man. The movie's set in Budapest, Romania, and they never say that. That's why you have all this European Gothic looking buildings, but then mad people are American. Like Michael's American, the doctor guy he works with is an American, Craven's American, freaking like some of the two werewolf guys, they're American, but then Victor's British, Celine's British, the black guy's British, Lucian's British, the other doctor sounds German. And that's cool. Good. You can have a mix of people. There's nothing wrong with having a mix, but like, where are we? I do like to know where we are and why we are there. And they never go into it. It's like Jay said, they have like European license plates, but then like American looking hospital, but then, so I don't know. It always irks me. Like, just tell me where we are. Just put the little thing at the bottom, Romania. Cool. It makes sense because that's, when you think of these type of monsters like werewolves and vampires, that's where you think of Eastern Europe. And so it's fine. But I just would have liked to know. Also, this movie's so blue. It's the cinematography, and it gets worse. I remember a minor spoiler. I seen all 5 of these, and the last movie, the Blood Wars, I saw it in the theater, and I was like, man, take this filter off the damn movie already. Can I? Like, it makes everything look it doesn't pop. Like blood doesn't pop in these movies because of the blue. It's a blue filter lens that they put on the camera, basically, and it adds this cool. I get what they were going for. It's stylish. I agree, but I don't love that. I think Resident Evil, which we're going to review next year, so you guys will forget everything I'm saying right now, but they did a good job of every movie has a different look. If you remember Part 2, Apocalypse, very blue, like this. But then Extinction, very yellow, warm. They're in the desert. Underworld is blue all the time. It's always blue. All 5 movies are blue. It always bothers me. I don't like how it looks. But anyway, all that aside, fun movie. I still like this movie. I think there are some problems, like you said. I like a 60-40, 65-35 mix, something like that. Like, I like more than I dislike. I like some of the characters. I dislike some of the characters. I like some of the action. I dislike some of the action, but I more like it than dislike it. So a 3.5 for me. I ever think like 7 out of 10 is what I always gave this movie. So 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. It's a fun time.
Yeah, look, you said everything. The blue filter doesn't bother me as much, but I kind of understand it will bother certain
my
people.
eyes.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it could be. Other than that, in terms of overall, this could be honestly a solid entry point to a franchise. $22 million budget. They took a chance. It was a success in the box office. People loved it. Again, you got a great leading actress. Nate doesn't like her much, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I think the action was subpar. Again, I gave the action a 4. I enjoyed it for what it was. Now, if they would have had it more with the UV light, I do agree with Nate. If they had more silver weapons with nitrate, whatever, like they had the guy with the whip, if they had more stuff like a boomerang that they could throw and cut, I would have been like, this is all cool.
You ever seen the movie Blade? Yeah, that has a mixture of shooting and swords and that 5. Wait, we haven't reviewed it yet, but I'm just saying. They could have mixed it up. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think we should have had more battles between wolves and vampires in this film, but you did get as much. Again, it's a $22 million budget, so they're not going to throw as much at us with that much of a budget. So again, I was entertained. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. My man Victor was actually, he takes the gold for this movie. I loved watching him. I gave this movie a 4. I think it was a very solid entry to a vampire sci-fi type movie. So
now, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, because I know my opinion, but how do you feel about do you like the look of the werewolves? Because I do. I think they look I like that they're not huge. They're a little more sleek, I guess. They look like bigger people. Do you like the look of their werewolves? That's question one.
I enjoyed the prosthetics. I thought that was very good. I wasn't too crazy with the CGI effects. I thought that was cool at points, but when they do turn into the wolves, I thought that looked amazing.
Okay, I agree. I like the way they look. Now, how do you feel about the look of Michael when he turns into the hybrid? Because I've always hated it. Yeah, I think he looks stupid.
This is exactly what I told my wife. Why did they go all black? Like, if it was dirty gray, like this color, like his skin turned this, and then with the filter it goes a little dark, I would have said, you know what? It is what it is. That whole him looking like oil does not. I do not understand why that choice. Yeah, I did like his eyes turning into vampire eyes. I thought that was cool. But I'm with you. I don't know why they decided to go that whole him dipped in oil look.
Yeah, he just looks like he's dipped in oil, and then he has that weird rib cage. Like, he doesn't even look big or he should have been like way more awesome looking, right? Like, oh shoot, the wolves look cool, and you mix in vampire, but then he just looks like a small werewolf with stringy, greasy hair.
What I would have done, because the wolves, when they transform, you can see their bones extend and do all this stuff. Yeah. I would have made Michael, if the actor was 6'2", I would have made the wolf turn 7'2", get 10 inches taller, make him more brolic with a physique of a slim vampire, so he looks like he's like both race.
That would have been cool.
And instead of him turning black, I would have had him turn like in a semitone from human, so he has
maybe like those light blue vampire eyes instead of shark eyes, because he went full black shark eyes.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. So he has he could see through the dark, because vampires could see through the dark. So I agree with you. I would have changed
1 out of 5.
Yeah, I did not like it either, but that's what I would have changed. Okay, total points.
Total 18 out of 25 for me. I enjoy it. I like Underworld. I like you like some of these. We'll call it what they are. They're guilty pleasure movies. Like, they're not. This is not a great cinematic masterpiece, but it's a low budget, high concept movie, and I have a good time with it. 18 out of 25.
I'm slightly over you by 1 point. I'm 19 out of 25. I enjoy this movie for what it is. Like you said, it's a guilty pleasure, and it's one of those movies that, hey, when you're in the mood to watch a vampire flick, this is a good one. You have a good villain. I like Kate Beckinsale. You don't, but she still can carry the movie.
She's okay.
Yeah, no, other than that, you know what to do, my friend.
All right, so that's Underworld. Now, next episode, we are going to be beginning our Arnold Schwarzenegger month with a 1990s film, Kindergarten Cop. Now, this was voted on. All these were voted on by the fans, so we didn't pick these ourselves, so don't get mad as well. Why is this on there? I don't know. You guys voted for it. Kindergarten Cop, directed by your man, Ivan Reitman, directed Kindergarten Cop. Ties in with all our Ghostbusters movies. And then next week, we'll be continuing with our Underworld with Underworld Evolution, the sequel to this movie. After this was a big hit, they said, we need another. And then we got that movie. So we'll give you our take on Underworld Evolution next week.
If you guys want to follow us on our social media accounts, please follow Nate over on Instagram at NateFlix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called NateFlix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys podcast. Please follow us on Instagram at Action Movie Guys Podcast or Levels of Geeks. And of course, if you guys want to support the channel, please head over to www.youtube.com/Levels of Geeks. Support the channel by subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button if you enjoy the reviews. Hit those bell buttons so every time we go live. We started last week with our first episode of the season with our top 10 movies of all time. You guys can check that over on youtube.com/levelsofgeeks.com. And of course, you can take us on the go with our podcast at iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher. Of course, search for Action Movie Guys. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from NateFlix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.